Okay, everybody. I'm sitting here listening to presentations. It's not easy doing this. I've got to tell you. It's like a machine gun, one after the other. Everybody's got their offer. Everybody is going to make you a successful trader. And how do you decide? How do you figure out what's right, what's going to work? How do you know what's real, what isn't? There's a couple of things that I just find really interesting about all this. Before I even get into my presentation, maybe I've been doing this too long, everybody. I've been doing this for, I'm going on 10 years with the same company, and that's a long time. So I've been with 10-minute trades for 10 years. And when I started, no one knew what a prop company was. There was no, they existed, but nobody knew what it was. And there are things that you have to realize that even though 90, I would say 95% of all the people that we see now are trading prop accounts. Nobody, hardly anyone is opening a normal account. I say normal. Hardly anyone is opening an old-fashioned account with cash anymore. And that's a sad thing in a way, because think about one great thing. And I know this is a prop account webinar day. Everything is about prop accounts, but you want to know the truth. I think the truth is the most important thing. When you talk about trading, there's so many untruths out there. And the truth is, there is nothing better than getting a payout. Okay? Obviously, you get paid is phenomenal. But even above that, there's nothing better than taking a cash trade, making a bunch of money on that cash trade, and that same day being able to withdraw money from your account. You normally don't do that from prop accounts. You got to build up the account. You've got to pass an eval. You got to become funded. It's a very significant process, and it's not easy. Everyone says it's easy. It is not easy. Everything requires work, requires labor, and if you don't put the time in, whether it's prop, schmop, or cash, you're not going to do well. My goal today is, yes, 10-minute trades. You can trade the way that we trade with most all of the prop accounts. But I'm going to show you a skill that will allow you to become a successful trader no matter how you trade. It doesn't have anything to do with prop, doesn't have anything to do with cash. It has to do with trading. And if you have a way to trade that will make you trade well, then it doesn't matter if you're trading prop or you're trading cash or you're trading forex or you're trading stocks. What we designed is a system based on very simple magnets, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'll give you a brief overview of our company. I'm going to start. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director at 10-minute trades. Like I said, I've been doing this for 10 years. I think I know what I'm talking about. And I also know that if you're not careful, you could lose money. You can still lose money if you have prop trading, because some of the companies out there that want you to follow them, they want you to open 10, 12, 15 accounts. That's not small amounts of money. So you can spend a lot of money being a prop trader. Don't kid yourself and think that it's only going to be very, very little amounts of money. It can be if you open one account and you're just trading one account, but many of the systems are based upon you need multiple accounts, you need trade copiers. As you get into this and do your exploration, make sure you understand the truth. That's the best thing that I could say after all these years that I've been doing it. One of the reasons that our company is a NinjaTrader partner is because we tell the truth and we're completely transparent. At 10-minute trades, we trade a system called appointment-based trading. We use the NinjaTrader platform and we trade futures. But I will tell you this, the concepts that I'm going to show you today about magnets, they will work on any chart with any instrument, because magnets have been around since the beginning of trading. And that's why I love them so much. So that's what I want to show you today. At 10-minute trades, we have a system. We have four major elements that make up the system: our weekly schedule, our daily trade reports, our trade room, and our software. Our software has many, many different ways and setups that you can use and that you can trade. If you're a discretionary trader, you could just become a member of our software only, and you can use it on NinjaTrader, and you could do whatever type of trading you like to do. Discretionary, scalping. Our software is very configurable, and it's not just news trading software. It was originally designed to trade the news. That's what we did in the beginning, and over the years, it's like I said, it's been 10 years. For 10 years, I've been working at this company and we've been updating our software every year. New version, new features, new ways to trade. We went from two methods of trading, spike trading the news and reverse trading the news, to many, many different ways now. Now we trade right after the news with magnets or scalps. We have reversal continue trades. Definitely, we've added many different setups, and our software can be a standalone product or it's a key element of our system, obviously. Weekly schedule, daily trade reports, trade room access, our news trader software suite, magnet trader strategy, and the trap trader strategy. We have three strategies that install into Ninja: news trader, magnet, and trap. Takes about 2 minutes to install the strategies. We start our week with a weekly schedule. We call it the weekly market mover. I'm going to fly over this stuff and get right to the magnets because every webinar we talk about this. Our weekly schedule has our trade room schedule on it. It has important news events that are taking place during the week because no matter what, still our focus at 10-minute trades is trading the news or around the news. We don't want to sit in front of our charts all day long. Even with magnets, which you could theoretically sit in front of your charts all day long if you wanted to, they're going to work better if you use them around the market moving events that we highlight on our schedules every week. These are the best times to trade, in our opinion. Then we have our daily trade reports. Not all the events that we trade have a daily trade report. I'd say about 70% of what we do gets the daily trade report, the treatment, the treatment of a daily trade report. When an event has a report, it gets into the way that report has been trading over the past 6 times. It's got a miniature journal, but suffice it to say, we're always discussing whether or not we think a trade will be smart or safe in our trade room. And that's actually one of the most important things that we do and that we strive to do is figuring out what events are the best to trade, what events are the safest events to trade. So we still, like I said, are geared around news. All of the trading we do is by schedule. We send a schedule out to our members every week, and then we meet in our trade room any as much as 1 to 5, 6 times a day. And we trade. Maybe we'll spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes in the room. We'll leave. We'll come back a couple hours later for the next event. That's how it works. And every single trade room is an educational lesson. It's a lesson in risk. It's a lesson in how to use software and our software. It's a lesson in how to read the markets. It's a lesson in how to trade. And obviously, it's a lesson in the way that we trade. So appointment-based trading, it's simple, it's based on time, and it's pre-planned. We're not usually being surprised and showing up in a random trade room just to be there because we can be there. That's not the way we work. People love the way we trade because you can work a full-time job, you can look at our schedule, and you could trade part-time if that's what's right for you and pick the best events that fit your schedule. So that's one of the best parts about what we do. A lot of people use our system, use our methods in addition to other trading systems. Because, of course, there are people out there that love trading full-time, and they don't want to trade just one system, though. So our system is very, very advantageous to most other systems because it can protect you. no matter what you're doing. If you know when the news is coming out, it's important because you could be in a trade that could get damaged by news moving the market when you're not prepared for that market to move. So no matter what, it's vital to know what news is coming out and when. Why does news move the markets? It's very simple, and there's categories of events that move the markets. High impact like economic reports, like a GDP report, or for instance, a Fed announcement, rate announcement. That's going to move markets. Big company earnings reports. That's a big part of what we do. We have invented a couple of different things. We invented a way to trade futures, not stocks, but we trade futures on big company earnings reports. So, for instance, we had a phenomenal trade a couple of weeks ago on
Welcome to
Caterpillar.
the Pro Trade Room,
We
boss.
were up in the morning. Caterpillar releases their earnings early in the morning. People got into our trade room plenty early. And we have tools that we teach people to use. We use TradingView, free version. For $50, you can open up a Thinkorswim account so you can watch the stock charts if you're trading earnings. We teach you the best, most reasonably priced ways to do things so that you could succeed. And many of these methods are prop account friendly. And that's what I want to stress today also. There are some things we do that some prop accounts won't let you do. Not all prop accounts let you trade the exact second that news is released. So we have many, many trades that we take right after the news, maybe sometimes minutes after the news, so that it is allowed with even the most stringent rules of prop companies. I mean, everybody's trading with prop accounts now. I can't think of maybe 10% of the people that come to our trade room that trade cash. It's not to say that cash isn't good. It's also not to say that there is one really bad thing about trading prop, and it's something you must be aware of and try to fight, and that's getting bad trading habits. When you're not trading your own cash, when it doesn't hurt as much as losing your own cash hurts, there is a tendency to start trading wacky, using bad, risk management, creating bad habits. That is the one really, really negative thing, in my opinion, about trading prop. It really creates bad habits in traders. You got to fight it, because what happens when you lose or if you blow up a prop account? You know what happens? It costs you your monthly fee if you want to restart the month, and that could be as reasonable as $20. So you could have theoretically, had it been a cash trade, that would have lost $1,000. In prop, the worst that you could happen is it blows up your eval. That costs you $20 to reset it, and maybe it blows up your funded account. That means you got to put your time back in and get funded again. But you're not losing real cash out of your pocket when you have a bad trade. So there's a tendency to start trading with bad habits. Don't fight it. Always trade as if you're trading real money and that it's cash coming out of your pocket. It will help you to create better habits. So I was saying we invented this way of trading futures on earnings. We got up early. Caterpillar's an event we've been trading for years. Our software creates this range. It puts the orders on the chart right there a second before Caterpillar's earnings. Incredible explosion. That was over $500 profit, and most people traded that in their prop accounts. Plenty of people are getting paid, even trading breakout news. So don't let anyone tell you that you're not allowed to trade news. Every prop account has rules. You got to read them, follow them, and do what they say. Otherwise, they will not pay. If you don't do what they say, they will not pay. So what causes those fantastic moves in the markets are the news is expected, the news comes out, and it's different from what's expected. That creates moves in the markets. That's what we take advantage of. And then finally, trigger category number 3, market opens and closes. We trade market opens in our trade room. We use magnets to help us at times to trade market opens, and our members are really doing well trading market opens every day. I would say almost every single day I get great screenshots from my members like this. Let me see if I can move this screenshot in. I mean, we get great screenshots of their profits all the time, how well they're doing. Give me half a second. And that's part of the fun of what we do is we get these great screens that our members show us. But this was recent market opens. Some of our members trade multiple setups. Our software is very easy to set up an NQ open. One of them trades silver at the open, an MNQ open. He traded 3 different instruments that morning, over $700 in profit, trading the NQ, the micro NQ, and silver. And we teach how to do that in our trade room, and that is the most important thing, is the teaching, the education. It never stops in our trade room. A lot of people want to know where we find the events that we're going to trade. Those events are found on the free calendars: Forex Factory, investing.com, Trading Economics, Financial Juice. Financial Juice also has a squawk box. We listen to the news in our headset. And then earningswhispers.com is a great website. Helps us. It's free. They have some great tools for trading earnings and finding the best stocks to trade earnings using futures. So don't forget, choose your prop accounts companies wisely. Choose the companies that will work with you, because not all of them do. Some of them are pretty difficult to deal with. Okay, I want to talk about quickly what our software is. It's a strategy. It's a custom add-on to the NinjaTrader program, and it installs into the NinjaTrader program and becomes a part of the platform. Our strategies have multiple setups. We can automate our trades. We can semi-automate our trades, and it controls your entries, your targets, your stops. If you want, you can trail your stops. You can manually trail. You can put your orders on automatically, and then you can manually manage the trade. If all your targets get hit, a trade is over. Because your targets get hit, everything happens automatically. So let's talk about what magnets are, because every single chart has them. When you set up your charts, when you're a trader, when you're first starting out, most people don't know how to set up their charts, and they don't know what to put on their charts. Most charts that I see over the years, the biggest criticism I have of most trading systems, the charts are unbelievably confusing. They're impossible to read. They look like millions of lights exploding all over the place, and it's very hard to tell what's going on, and that stands in the way of being a successful trader. This is the NinjaTrader platform. This is how complicated our charts look. We have very simple charts because we want to simplify the way that we trade. If you look at these lines, that's the high of day. This middle line, which is kind of orange, is the 6 p.m. open. This green line is the VWAP. And then we also put some pivots on the chart. The PP is the central pivot. That's about all we put on our charts, except volume, and we use the squeeze. We are squeeze lovers because the squeeze is a great momentum indicator. Magnet trading is momentum trading, and we very often use the squeeze as one of our methods for entering or deciding whether or not we want to enter a trade. So let's talk for a moment about what a magnet is. A magnet is very simply a common popular level on a chart that many traders look at. Why do many traders look at them? They put their orders around these areas. Where do people tend to put their orders? High of day, low of day, above the VWAP, below the VWAP, right? PP. Those are popular areas that are used over and over by traders because that's what they're taught. Many traders are taught, oh, if it breaks the high of the day, you could go long. Oh, if it fails to break the high of the day, you could go short. So lots of orders are placed around those levels. And that's why I say to you that magnets, the concept, works beautifully on any chart. You could have a stock chart that will have magnets. There's going to be high of days. There's going to be lows of day. There's going to be previous highs, previous lows. There are many magnets. We have two magnet systems in our magnet strategy. Strategy system one is an automated high of day, low of day system. So we just click the magnet trade strategy, and right at the top it says high of day, low of day. It defaults to a one order system. Every trade that we take is 3 ticks away from the magnet. So I'll just throw this random trade, even though the markets are closed. Let's see if it'll, you know what, markets are closed. I'm going to have to show you videos, unfortunately. It's the one problem on Saturdays. But here's the concept. Very simply, the magnet is our exit. All right? The magnet is your exit. So if you have a high of day or a low of day, we're trading into that exit. When that exit gets tested, that's the way you make your money. You hit that exit and you leave the trade. How many times a day, if you look at an instrument, do you see the most popular magnets, which are the high of day, low of day, and the VWAP that we like the best? Now there's a VWAP, there's a PP magnet. Notice I'm looking at the MNQ price moving up, up, tests the magnet. That's the trade. Also, we had a possible entry on a squeeze going back. If we go back a little bit, we have something we call the aftershock reversal squeeze. It's an entry after a direction has changed. Also, it can be after news, after shock. News can be a shock to the market, but it's a very simple signal. It's not complicated. Most people use the squeeze if it's above the zero line and it changes color. That's your long signal in here. Well, we like to use it differently. Our long signal is back in here because we're using a change in momentum. We don't demand to be above the zero line because, so remember, most indicators are lagging. By the time you get up to that zero line and go above it, the trade half the time is over. I don't want to necessarily wait that long. So we have a system where we're looking at momentum bars before they get to the zero line. And notice on this particular chart, and this, folks, was just a random chart I turned on 1 minute before I got to this webinar. I didn't know that there would be a perfect squeeze signal that we use. Right here, where this line is, that would have been a very possible long move, long entry, and our new software generates a buy signal on the chart telling you that you can buy there. And it happened to work beautifully that day. This was the end of the day on Friday. That's what this chart is. Price went up, and up, and it tested the PP area also. Not only was it an aftershock magnet, but it also went and tested the PP. It was a double trade. There were actually 2 possible trades. So one of the things we've added to our version 2.0 is using the squeeze to enter early. And we call it the aftershock reversal squeeze. And we have 3 methodologies of using it. One, we're testing the high of day. If it gets rejected and changes direction, we get a momentum signal there. And if we're sitting on top of the high of day and we go down to it and go back up, that's another possible entry because it fails to the downside. Here's the point. Very simple visual signals tell us possibly when we want to get into a trade. There's a couple of other things you want to look at, and we teach our members how to use the charts, how to set up their charts, what to put on their charts to help them trade magnets. And you want to put most of the indicators are free or they will be included in our magnet strategy. There is an indicator on NinjaTrader called the current day open high low, OHL. Free indicator that puts the highs and lows on the chart. Pivots, free indicator, puts the highs and lows on the chart. Volume up and down, free. Net change display. Net change display is actually an amazingly simple indicator. All it is a number. But when you come in the morning, if you look at that number and you see it's a green 211, the first thing it tells you is that very possibly that particular instrument is positive. It's bullish on the day. Now we teach you how to look a little deeper. You don't want to just trust one simple indicator to tell you whether something is bullish or bearish, because there's a little bit more to it than that. But there's not a whole heck of a lot more to it than that. You want to look at maybe a 15-minute chart, get a feel for what the instrument's doing, and then you truly know if something is bullish, bearish, or maybe it's consolidating. But these are free tools. That's one of our goals, is to try and be as reasonable as possible and teach people how to populate their charts so they get as much information as possible without buying a lot of indicators that don't keep up with the current market, because the markets move fast. For the way that we trade, we don't need a million indicators, because remember, we're trading around the news. The news is fast. Indicators, most of them don't keep up. So we don't need a million indicators on our chart, but we need to be able to gauge the direction that we think the price is going. And we have tools that we teach. And besides indicators, we also use the news squawk box. What happens in the news result is very important. In other words, if the jobs report comes out again this Friday, right? And it is coming out this Thursday, actually, they're saying now. The jobs report comes out. If the jobs report is terrible and there's no jobs created, that's as important an indicator as a typical pivot or as a typical high of day, low of day. It might even be more important. It may have more control over what the market's going to do for the next couple of minutes. And we teach our members how to use this information to make intelligent trades. The magnet lets us also trade after the news. So let me show you a couple of magnet trades so you could actually see them work. And let me also show a little bit of clarity on signals. One of the type of signals that we take, give me half a second, we have something that we call our typical, what we call our typical signals, or general, I'd call it general signals. Let me grab this chart. I apologize. It's giving me a little bit of grief. Here we go. So this is a chart just with the most basic simple signal. Notice how there's a green higher momentum bar, then all of a sudden it's dark and it starts heading down. That's a potential short signal. And then on the opposite side, you have a potential long signal. However, we do always think about, are we in a bullish or bearish situation before we don't just jump into a random trade just because we have a signal. But signals are the first step to getting a heads up to whether or not it might be a good time to trade. Let me show you a couple of magnets so you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Yesterday, we traded a whole bunch of market opens. And one of the things that we did right at the market open, very often before the market opens, the YM gives us a magnet trade. Notice here on this chart, this is a chart of the YM and the MNQ, and we trade those market opens every morning. All right, and I will answer every question that winds up in the chat. Notice this red line is the low of the day. The VWAP is above us. This is a potential market open magnet trade, and ironically, it's magnetized with the net change display showing that the Dow is down big time Friday morning. It was down almost 300 points when we got into the room. So I'm thinking magnet to the short side on the open. I put my magnet trade on the charts right at the open, and here it is. I want to try and get my video into the right spot. So let's let it run for a second. There's our orders, and it happens so fast. Let me try and back it up and stop it. Otherwise, I'll show you a different one. So our magnet software has an auto mode where if it's purple, it'll automatically trade. We have an order entry that's created with a thick line. We can move our order line, but right at the open, exactly what we expected to happen, the YM shot down, went through the magnet, and actually for a two position trade would have been a really, really nice profitable trade. It burst down to the magnet. Very simple magnet trade. Our MNQ trade was one of our traditional breakout trades. We didn't use the magnet on that trade, but we had two setups going at the exact same time. We have a setup for the NQ, the MNQ. That trade was over in 12 seconds, and it went through both targets. And that is more the rule than the exception these days on the MNQ. We love trading the MNQ on the market opens because it's really been trading well. But notice how simple our charts were on that trade. No different than what I'm showing you right now. Pivots, VWAP, that's it. There was nothing else on our charts. It's really easy to understand how magnets work and how to set up your trades. It only takes a couple of minutes to completely set up a trade, okay? So let me show you a couple of more because it's very important to see how they work because that gives you an idea of what we're talking about. So here's an oil magnet trade. Every instrument will have magnets. Every instrument will always have magnets. And we never use the words never and always in trading because it never does the same thing over and over. And it always is not the same. Everyone knows that if you are a serious trader. Magnets always. They will always be there unless people stop looking at the high and the low. And that's just not going to happen. Here's the magnet order. Our software puts that thick line on the chart. That's our entry. The exit, remember, the magnet is the exit. So we can put our orders around the magnet to exit the trade there. We could also put another position on if it goes through the magnet and goes further than the low, which is the magnet on this particular chart, then we will have more profit because we'll have a second position. So you can trade multiple positions and take advantage of going through the magnet. Or if you just want to test to the magnet, you can control the software, set it up. So that's bingo. That's a magnet trade. It just tested the low of the day, and they often do it rather quickly once they get to that area. Here was another magnet on oil. The left side was full-size oil. On the right side, we were trading micro oil. There was our magnet fill. Remember, we got filled at the heavy line. We're testing the high of day. We're bullish on the morning. All the elements are there. Not a lot of genius required to figure out this is a real nice possibility. The squeeze is working in our favor also. It's to the upside. There's not a single thing that says don't take this trade. There we go. Hits the magnet, you're out of the trade with a profit. This is the strategy we're teaching. We have added 3 things to it just this week. I'm finally done adding features to Magnet Trade 2.0. And I've added signal generation when the VWAP is tested, when the high of day, low of day is tested, and we're putting in a general squeeze signal generator. And that's going to be part of Magnet 2.0. I expect the software to be done. I'll have the final version late tonight because our programmer is in another country. and I know his schedule. Trust me, I know his schedule. I've been up for nights talking to him about this upgrade that I've been working on with him. I'll have the final version tonight. I'll do my testing, and for Black Friday, we're going to have the new Magnet 2.0 ready to go. I'm not here selling a selling a Black Friday deal. I'm just showing you some of the great things about 10-minute trades, and especially the magnets, because I love every day now we're trading magnets in our trade room. Why do prop accounts like magnet trades? Because they're very consistent. They're not $1,000 profit 1 minute, an $80 profit the next minute. Prop accounts like if you make 200 here, 120 here, 250 there, 85 there. They don't want to see $1,000 winner, $80 winner, $2,000 winner. They want consistency in your trading. It's very important. So the aftershock reversal squeeze is a very quick signal when there's a change in momentum direction on the momentum bars of the squeeze. That's the easiest way I could say it. If you don't have the squeeze, no problem. Our magnet strategy includes our custom squeeze, custom high of day, low of day, custom VWAP. Not everybody is a lifetime Ninja Trader subscriber, so that you don't get a free VWAP. We include a VWAP with our magnet trade. We know what the magnets are. Can you trade market opens? Absolutely. I've shown you we trade market opens every single morning. It's almost always a setup is available to trade a magnet almost around every news event and almost every market open and every market close. Think about it. Price is always somewhere around a VWAP, a high of day, or a central pivot. These are price levels that just get tested over and over and over. Can you trade the news with magnets? Absolutely. Does it make the most sense to trade the news with a magnet? So what do I mean even when I say trade the news? So yesterday we had an awesome trade. And it's important to remember that we have multiple ways that we trade at 10-minute trades, and we teach you these multiple ways. And our DNA, before we got into magnets so heavily, our DNA used to be breakout trades, and it still is. And yesterday, they announced at the last second, because of the government shutdown ending, that the WASDE report was being released. We've been trading the WASDE report for all 10 years that I've been here. And we have great experience with the WASDE report. I was trading corn on the right and news trades, something we teach every single day. Corn burst down. First of all, what happens in our software and what we teach our members is how to set up the software so it puts orders on the chart right before the news comes out. And then the news comes out and we get pulled into the market. This is what a perfect trade looks like. Obviously, not every trade is perfect. Every trade's not a winner. This was a monster winner. It hit my first target, and the greatest, most enjoyable news trade, or any trade, is when you enter the market, you're able to bring your stop into a positive position, and the market just keeps going and going and going in your position of location, your direction of profit. And that's what happened in our corn futures trade yesterday. The price just kept going down and down. And here's the funny thing, everyone. I was trading this in our cash account because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm old-fashioned. I still love taking a serious trade in our cash account because at the end of the day, if you make some money in your cash account, you can take it out that next day or that same day, and nothing like trading cash for me. I love trading cash. Anyway, can you trade discretionary with our software? Absolutely, because you're making decisions, right? Discretionary just means, well, you're making a decision when to get into the market. With the tools that we give you, with teaching you how to set up your charts, We give you the tools so that you understand some of the best times to put yourself into a trade. And of course, the idea is to put yourself in a trade when you could avoid the most amount of risk. So that's what we're also teaching every day in the room. Uh, a very funny comment someone just made. Anyway, any questions about the magnets? I'm going to make a very quick offer because this is a very quick webinar today. I want to make everybody an offer. If you'd like to join us, the only way you can ever know if anything works for you, you could listen to a hundred webinars, 100 people talking. If you don't spend some time with them and actually do what they tell you to do and see if you can do it, it doesn't have any meaning whatsoever. So we'd like to make you an offer to come join us. All of our trade rooms, become a full member of 10-minute trades for 1 month, nothing held back. You can learn everything about everything that we do in 1 month. You're not going to be an expert, but you're going to see everything. You'll see an earnings trade. You'll see range trades, reversal trades, magnet trades. You'll get to use all the software that we use, every strategy that we generate. Nothing is held back. Full member, and it's just $97 for a month. That's our pro membership price. We have a new pro membership, and we're calling it Magnet Trade 2.0 Pro Membership. I'll throw the link in the chat for you. I didn't make a short link today, just was busy with the family. So give me half a second. Um, I love teaching new people how to trade. I realize, of course, not everybody likes the way that we trade, and not everybody is going to be the perfect person to be a 10-minute trader. But no matter what, I can promise you one thing, that if you spend a month with us, you're going to learn so much about the markets, about strategies, about when it's safe to trade, about risk management, and let's be honest, almost everybody is interested in trading the news. It's not true that it's unsafe. If you have software, if you have good setups, trading the news is no riskier than trading any other system. We've been doing it for 10 years. If we could last for 10 years without blowing up all our trading accounts, because we do trade cash in our trade room, still today we trade prop and cash. And the truth is, trading the news is no riskier than any other trading. Yeah, sometimes you can have a loser that's painful, but you can have some great winners. Sometimes with slippage, you make more money than you expect. You have something called positive slippage. So there isn't only bad slippage, sometimes there's good slippage. Now, someone asked the question, is the magnet strategy compliant with Apex? So the thing that I would say, I don't see any reason why you don't have to trade fully automated with our magnet. So if they say don't trade fully automated, our magnet can be fully automated or not hardly automated at all. So every strategy, almost every news prop company lets you have automatic targets, where your software puts the targets on the chart. So our strategies are automated, semi-automated, and very often the choice is yours. So $97, everyone. I put the link in the chat. We'll guide you step by step in all of our trade rooms. We'll teach you all about trading on a schedule, trading the news. And again, if you need help and I didn't answer your questions today, you can reach me, help@10minutetrades.com. I love teaching. I love the markets. And I really feel that if you give us 30 days, you'll stay for a long time. People really enjoy trading with us. We have a great community of traders that share, and that's very important also, to share setups, to share experience, because it's like Norm said, trading can be lonely. And when you're with a good group of people, with honest people, trading can really be a great experience. So I just want to thank you all. Anthony, that's my presentation for today. Everything is included, Christian. All the software, absolutely everything. All right? Nothing held back. It's a full total
Hey, thank
membership.
you, Lee. You have just one of the perfect cadences when you talk to for certain traders. You really do. So thank you. And I know those
Thanks,
strategies work
Anthony.
because I've used similar tools. And so please please take his
Thank you.
offer up. If you think it's the right one for you, take it. It's a good one, I'm sure. Thank you, Lee.
I'll see
Appreciate